And I started to realize then there's actually three parts to my job. Now, every great financial advisor wears what I call three hats. And I'll just share this with you now. And this, if you could capture the power of this, I reckon it's a great way of you being able to justify much, much higher fees, potentially treble your fees, treble your fee income, and just hold your head high and really control your service proposition from this point forward. So I prepared this earlier, and this is to help get across to you the three really, really important roles that you fulfill for your clients. Now, all this is in the guise then of what I call lifestyle financial planning, okay? And this is a way, arguably, for you to reposition yourself in the eyes of your clients if you get this right. What I want to do first of all, though, is I mentioned you wear three hats. Let me introduce you to the least important hat that you wear, okay? And that hat, the least important hat that you wear, is that of a financial advisor, okay? Hope you can see that up here. Now, so what I would say to clients is this. Let's assume I'm seeing a new prospective client for the first time. I would explain to them that I'm an alternative financial advisor, okay? I try and do the complete opposite to most financial advisors. For starters, I tell people the truth, okay? The truth about money. Now, the reason I'm alternative is because of the three parts to my job. The first, I wear three hats, okay? The first hat that I wear is that of a life planner, okay? Life planner. The second hat that I wear is that of a financial planner. And the third hat that I wear is that of a financial advisor. Let me explain to you what these are. When I'm wearing my life planning hat, I'm finding out about you. It's about where you are in your life right now and how you got here. What's your story? What have you been through to arrive at this state of your life now? And when I've understood a little bit about you and your story and got to understand where you are in your life now, I'm then interested in your future story. What is it that you want to do in the time you've got left on this planet? In particular, what sort of lifestyle do you enjoy now, and what sort of lifestyle would you like to continue to enjoy in the future? What sort of things do you want to do between now and the time that you're dead in a box? That's what I call life planning, okay? When I understand what you're trying to achieve, I'll take off my life planner's hat and put on my next hat, which is that of a financial planner. The financial planner's job is to crunch some numbers quite simply. It's to look at the resources available to you now. It's also to identify the resources that will be coming to you in the future, i.e. future inflows and future incomes and so on. But also it's to identify the resources that might have to come available to you in order to satisfy the needs of your life plan, okay? That is financial planning. I'll talk about that more in a second. Now, if that financial plan indicates that you need a financial product, if it does, then and only then will I put on my third and least important hat, which is that of a financial advisor. Now, I've got to tell you, when I first started using that script, for want of a better word, and explained to clients there's more to me than just being one of these, clients would often say, oh, so you're not here to sell me anything then? And the answer is no. Who says you even need a financial product? You see, Mr. Client, until I know about you, I don't feel I've got any right whatsoever to talk about your money or tell you what to do with it. That, I promise you, is a differentiator. And that's what you can do when you truly wear the three hats, okay? So let's just rewind slightly. Let's look at the least important hat first of all. What is financial advice, okay? Because it's a really important thing that we get this clear in our heads. Because what I'm sharing with you now is something that clients really, really, really understand and get. Unfortunately, the industry doesn't get this, okay? I'll explain why in a second. Unfortunately, a lot of advisors don't get this, but clients get this straight away because this is how the job should always have been done, okay? Let's just talk about what is financial advice then, okay? The first thing I would say is that financial advice is anything to do with any form of financial product or investment, okay? I made a list for you earlier. So those are the sort of things that I regard as financial advice. When you talk about investments, when you choose investments, when you recommend investments or pensions or retirement products, or you talk about life insurance or health insurance or mortgages or risk profiling or trusts or rebalancing a portfolio or a savings plan or asset allocation, all of that in my head and in my heart is financial advice. That's all it is. It's financial advice. And to be honest with you, it's pretty damn boring. Clients really aren't interested in any of this stuff here. But guess where the industry wants you to stay focused? Here. The industry wants to keep your attention here all the time because it's got its stuff to sell. So I don't know if it's in Canada, but in the UK, there are loads and loads of financial trade publications, Financial Advisor magazine, newspapers, money marketing. I write for a couple of them. And they're just full of ads for financial products and news about financial products and new funds and stuff. But none of that is going to have, none of that really is going to make your, is going to change your client's life. None of that is going to change your client's life. It's just, they're just what I call tools in the bag. Okay, that's all these are. They're tools in the bag to get the job done. Okay, that's all they are. I'll come back to that in a second. I will just say this. There are lots of people out there who call themselves financial planners. Many of them are certified financial planners, but all they ever do is that. And they pay lip service to the other two hats. All they're doing is going around talking about and often just peddling financial products. They're not financial planners at all. And they're certainly not lifestyle financial planners. And this is where I upset people, okay? But that's true. And it's something we've got to stop, because it's no good changing your job title from financial advisor to financial planner if you don't change what you actually do. So I'm a big advocate for getting advisors to wake up and realize we've got one chance now with Robo coming to really demonstrate what it is we bring to the table. Let's look at the first part of the job then. Let's just look at life planner. What's a life planner? I mentioned this to you a few minutes ago, right? But it's this, it's your client's life, right? That's life planning, is you asking great questions and being interested, curious, arguably, about your client. Where they're now, how they get to where they are now, and where they're trying to get to in the future. And I always say, make sure when you're uncovering a client's circumstances, always talk about the current moment, yes, of course, but also always go back first. Find out about their past story before you start talking about their goals. I hate the term goals. I'd rather talk in terms of possibilities. People will talk about possibilities more than they will goals. You start asking a client what their goals are, and you're probably going to get a deer in the headlight look. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where clients just don't know what they want. And what they say today will probably be very different tomorrow. So we've got to make sure we talk about what clients really want. So life planning then, it's all about your client, and it's all about their story, okay? We've all got a story. I've got a story, and you've got a story. Now, the great thing about this is nobody probably is interested in your client's story. Your client is probably a lonely individual. In reality, we all are. We all suffer from the human condition. It's our ego makes us think about ourselves most of the time. So the chances are nobody really has expressed that much interest in your client until you turn up. And then you start being really, really interested in their life, their story, where they are now, where they're trying to get to, and so on. We have a fantastic opportunity to really connect with another human being about what's important to them. And if they realize that you're interested in them more than you are their money, guess what? They'll trust you with all of their money. And that's the opportunity that you've got when you do this in the right order. Okay. So the other part of this then is this. You know, one of the things we've all got to try, one of the things that we do as financial planners is help clients to answer this question, which I'll come into in a second here, of enough, right? In fact, I wrote a book on it. And this book here, I'll just wave it in front of you because I'd like to send you one. I wrote a book here called Enough, How Much Money Do You Need for the Rest of Your Life? And this is an inspiring book about financial planning, and it gets people to reach out for it. So this is a marketing tool for members of my Inspiring Advisors group that they give to their clients or prospective clients to explain what it is what this is all about effectively. And it gets clients reaching out for proper financial planning, as I call it. Now, it's all about enough, right? But enough for what? Until we can start doing financial planning, we've got to work out this here, enough for what? What is it you're trying to achieve? Because until I know what you're trying to achieve, how can I build a financial plan to help you to get enough, you know? So let's now go on to the second hat, okay? So when I've done this, this will be my first meeting with a client, okay? So my first meeting with a client would be me engaging with them about them. Now, there's a skill in doing this, of course, because the danger is a client can come to you thinking you're a financial advisor, often with this on their mind, okay? And I've seen so many otherwise good financial planners get caught in what I call the transaction trap, where they end up talking about this stuff here because they've had 20 years of doing so often, okay? And they never quite get round to doing all three hats because they get caught here. And what happens is they take on too many clients, they don't pay them enough money, they become a busy fool, and they fail their purpose. They're not delivering what really they're on this planet to do, in my view, okay? They're just a financial advisor, and financial advice is great. If you just want to be a financial advisor, be a financial advisor. But don't ever call yourself a financial planner if you ain't doing this. That's my view. I told you upset people, didn't I? Okay, so what is financial planning? As I say, financial planning is answering this question. How much is enough? Now, enough for what? Okay, we've got to now use, and this is the opportunity that you've got available to you on this call, is I believe all of you, if not most of you, use Michael's software. Now, I've looked at Michael's software, and I see it as a very similar quality tool to the one I used for many years in the UK called Presswood Software. Okay, it's now called True Software because I got them to rebrand it. Now, in other words, it enables you to help clients to work out the answer to that question. But what drives enough? Now, let me show you another little quick excerpt here. And I'm hoping you can see this. This basically is a lifeline from now. This is an imaginary client, okay? Imaginary client from now to age 100. Let's say death over here. Let's put a coffin on here, okay? There we go. That's the end of their life there. Now, what you can see here probably is blues, which is money coming in, income. In other words, income coming into their life between now and when they retire. Then probably when they retire, they have less blue coming in. So blue is money coming in here. These are inflows each year, which hopefully you can see. And red, in this example, is money going out. In other words, their expenditures. So here we can see their expenditures going out, being less than they're currently earning at the moment. Then when they retire, let's say this client here wants to do stuff while they're still fit and able to do so, which as an advisor, you should be an inspiration to help them to do stuff. So let's say they want to have some great time traveling for the first 5 or 10 years of their retirement. So it could be they spend a lot more here than they do in later life. So we've got higher expenditure in the early retirement while they're still fit and able to do so, and then less expenditure when they become what I call too old to enjoy themselves, okay? Because we all get to that stage where our knees are gone, our hips are gone, we're worn out and we're knackered, okay? It's happening to me already. So this then is a profile of their expenditure, okay? Now what VisionWorks will help you to do, of course, is find out what's going to happen then to their money. Based on these expenditure requirements to live the life that they want, what's going to happen to their wealth? Now, I found in my years of doing this lifestyle financial planning lot, there are only 3 types of clients you're ever going to come across. Oops, 3. That's all there is out there. In the marketplace, there's only 3 types of clients. And I believe it's your job to find out and sense as soon as possible who you're dealing with. Are they, first of all, what I call a not enough? In other words, their money here is going to go up during this period here when they're they're earning more than they're spending, and then it rapidly goes down and it runs out. Hence the red line below the line here. In other words, these are not enough. They're going to run out of money. That means they can't afford to live the life that they say they want. So your job now is to help them to understand, first of all, how much is enough, yeah? So they can accumulate more or work more hours or whatever it might be, or reduce their expenditure to help them to accumulate sufficient money to secure their financial future, okay? That's your job with a not enough. The second type of client you're going to come across, and I bet you've got some of these already, is what I call a got too much. Now, a got too much is somebody whose wealth is going to grow and grow and grow and grow, as illustrated, no doubt, by VisionWorks, and they're going to go to their grave over here with way too much money. Now, I regard that as a severe problem. People thinking not having enough money is a problem. Well, I would say to clients that having too much is a bigger problem. Let me explain why. If you've got too much client here, what that means is you're going to go to your grave here with way, way too much money. First thing in the UK is a substantial amount of inheritance tax is likely to be paid if you leave too much money behind. So that's one problem, is tax. But tax, Mr. Client, isn't really a problem for you. You're dead. It's a problem for your kids maybe, your children maybe, but it's not your problem because you're dead. Your problem, Mr. Client, if you've got too much, is that you're lying on your deathbed here with too much money and no time. And you're thinking to yourself, damn, I could have done stuff. I could have retired at 60 instead of 65. I could have helped my children out when they needed some support. I could have given some money to my children with warm hands rather than cold hands, which is a lovely line I've come across recently. I could have enjoyed first-class travel. I could have bought that yacht. I could have had more time out to do the things that I wanted to do, but instead I didn't. And now here I am with all the money in all the world, but no time. Damn. Your job is to make sure it doesn't happen to your clients. They shouldn't be dying as got too much time clients. You should be helping them to enjoy their wealth with confidence, knowing they're going to be okay. That's what this is really all about. It's helping them to give more, do more, spend more, gift more, of course. It's all here. Leave something behind you with your wealth that you feel great about. Do stuff while you still can. That's got too much. And finally, the third type of person, all of this is covered in this book, by the way. The third type of person that you've got as clients are what I call, they're not enough. They're not got too much. What could they possibly be? They, hopefully you can see that, are just rights. So these are people with just the right amount of money for the rest of their life. They're going to be okay. They are never going to run out of money. They needn't worry about money ever again. There's only one slight problem. They don't know that because no one's helped them to see that. So this is the thing. Imagine if you're a just right type of person, you've got just about the right amount of money for the rest of your life. Based on prudent assumptions, you're going to be okay. But you never knew that. What would happen? You would probably go through your life probably not spending when you could easily afford to do so. Or you might spend and then feel guilty. Or you might work more years than you need to because you think you do. Or you might take more risk with your investments trying to achieve more growth because you always feel like you need more. And that means less peace of mind, more worry about the markets. Well, actually, you're going to be okay. Let me prove and demonstrate this to you. And that is the power of using great software with clients. So that is the three hats. Does that make sense? Life planning, financial advice. And it should be done in this order. So this can only happen first. In my world, that's my first meeting with the client, to get to know them, to build trust and rapport. And also, by the way, I've got to decide whether I want that client in my life or not, because life's not a rehearsal, remember. I've got a limited amount of time on this planet personally, so therefore I'm only going to let into my client base clients that I want to spend my time with, and you should be the same too, I'm guessing. So this is the first meeting. When I've understood that client's real circumstances and they've told me everything if you do this right, clients will tell you stuff they've never told anybody else before, ever. They just trust you with this information because you're demonstrating your interest is in them, not their money. So when you've done this, now you've got all the information that you need to go away and build your financial plan using your software. Okay, now there's a bit of work in between, we know that. I'm not going to bore anybody with that. You need to get expenditure questionnaires completed. You need to get confirmation of their assets and the liabilities. All of that's our job. So then at the second meeting, I would now introduce them to what their financial future looks like. Now I've created a great presentation, which time is limited now, so I can't share that with you. But at the end of this first meeting here, at the end of the very first meeting, I explain to clients what real financial planning is all about in a really empowering way, where clients go, wow, why don't all financial advisors do this? And I promise you, when people say that to you, you're not going to have any problem pitching your fees because you can tell it's a unique experience for them. Now, I can't do that today, but I'll tell you about that in a second. Then we move to the second meeting and show that client what all that means. And then at the end of the second meeting, when we've established where they're heading financially, and they're seeing their future like they've never seen it before ever with the help of this software, then it's then a matter of saying, well, it now looks like we need to do some form of investment or savings or protection or whatever it may be. I don't even know who we're going to use yet from a financial product point of view. So between now and our next meeting, I will go away and put on my financial advisor hat to identify the right product to suit the needs of your financial plan. And that will be my third meeting. When I go back to that third meeting here, when we're going to implement the financial products that they need, guess what? Clients don't really much care about those financial products. They often just say, look, where do I sign? I'm not interested. Just give me the medicine is all they really want to do. So you haven't got to spend hours, and obviously you've got to do your compliance stuff, right? I'm not saying don't do that, but you haven't got to spend hours and hours and hours trying to justify this portfolio versus that portfolio. That is not necessary because you've done the job in this order. You've done it properly. Now, one of the little thing I'd like to mention here, as I say, the danger is a lot of advisors and planners, when they see this, they think, wow, that's going to really help me to keep the jobs apart. And what this will do, it will help you to have a more engaging first meeting because there are ways to just park that. If you can park the financial product stuff, right, I promise you, you'll have more engaging meetings here. And then even in the second meeting, you still don't talk about your product stuff because we haven't got there yet. They're just tools in my bag, remember. Now, what happens with a client is this: if you have a whole meeting and you're not talking about financial products or trying to sell one or recommend one, guess what happens? They're thinking you're different, you're alternative, I feel safe with you. Then what happens is in the second meeting, you're still not trying to sell a financial product or recommend a financial product. You're doing the complete opposite to most financial advisors. The trust levels are going through the roof. You are demonstrating that your focus is totally on helping your client to get the life that they want. You're on their side. That will be done when it's necessary, okay? Now, this is really important because this is how I call it stepping away from the industry. The industry is over there, right? The industry wants its stuff sold. But the industry, this stuff here is what gets advisors into trouble. That's in the UK. People selling financial products often for the sake of it have caused advisors a bad name. But the industry makes that happen, right? This is our way of saying financial products are necessary. Yes, they are. They're an important part of the job, but they're not that important. This is where the value is. This is where your value is. And therefore, suddenly, now compare yourself, right? If you're in competition with another advisor that just wears this hat here, who's worth more fees? You or them? You are, obviously, okay? Because you wear 3 hats and you can explain this to clients and demonstrate it. And all you have to do then is make sure you stick to the rules, okay? So that's the story of the 3 hats. And I promise you that can change your life. It certainly changed mine. Clients say, why don't all financial advisors do it this way? You can walk with your head held high. You get more referrals to better quality clients. And more importantly, guess what happens as well? You do an awful lot more financial services business because clients think if you're doing this for me, if you're looking at my whole life, if you're looking after all of my affairs, I can't invest any money with anybody else. It's got to be looked after by you. So you get more assets under management, you can charge bigger fees, and everyone's happy. That's how this works, okay?